what department is Rogan going to be head of at this point? You know,
Hopefully the spokesperson.
he's going to replace Matthew Miller.
Yeah. Get up on stage and be like, bro, we need to airdrop DMT in Ukraine. We need to.
Genocide in Gaza, we could talk about it a bit, but I don't know what else to say that hasn't already been said by everyone, or that would provide any kind of like useful input other than like today. I think was the day that the obvious lie of the 30-day period that they it was like a warning period that they gave to Israel. And then if you listen to any of the press conference that they held, Matthew Miller, the fucking ghoul, wasn't there today. He sent out the other guy.
Dude, Matthew Miller.
He's the worst.
Don't even. Me and my brother, we love to call him Smirkulon because he just has like the face of like a vampire, like Dracula sort of thing going on. Yeah, and he like there was something that there was a sorry, I stutter so much. There was a reporter that like called him out on his smirking while he was like talking about like mass deaths in Gaza and just like, oh yeah, so it's really awful over there. I don't know, and we were just trying to get a ceasefire deal and also take out Hamas at the same time, and like he's like smiling like a shit-eating grin the entire time. He's a ghoul, seriously.
Yeah, you're ruling class actual fucking demons. I don't know, but they're like, it's crazy how like in your face they are, and they're just like, I don't know, there's no other word for it, that they're just fucking demonic. They just like, they will stand in front of 4K cameras and just smirk while they talk about...
Dude, the fucking, Trump being with like laid on hands at a church before the election was all the way through. Like, there was a post that I saw about it, and it was like, what is up with America? And it's like, it's Christofascism. That's kind of the bottom line. White nationalism, Christofascist sort of white supremacist nonsense. And
it's Christofascism as well, but none of those. I'm about 99% sure not a single one of those people actually believe in God or anything like that. No, I don't think any of them do. Trump doesn't. Everyone knows Trump's not. He doesn't believe in God or anything like that.
It's all optics and theatrics.
I would say most people in power, I would assume, have the Henry Kissinger view of religion, which is that they recognize that it is a very powerful force that lots of people believe very strongly in, and that is very useful for powerful people. And like Kissinger was so brazen, he would say that shit out loud, and then would also still just use that as a fucking tactic because he was a power player. Like it's wild.
Oh yeah,
just say it out loud.
Well, that's why the Emperor Constantine of the Roman Empire, who was the first emperor to convert to Christianity, just openly said, "Oh yeah, I don't fucking believe this. I don't believe in Roman paganism either. I don't believe in anything because I'm a Rogan."
It's a good Freudian slip, right?
Roganism.
It's going to be the new religion of America under Trump, bro.
Probably,
dude. When are they going to make? What department is Rogan going to be head of at this point?
Hopefully the spokesperson.
He's going to replace Matthew Miller.
Yeah. Get up on stage and be like, bro, we need to airdrop DMT in Ukraine. We need to.
Can you imagine if we had gorillas fighting the wars?
Yeah, like actual gorillas.
You know how strong they are.
None of them are above 5'9", but they could really do it.
This might be a controversial take, but I fully support Trump putting the most stupid people in charge of government departments. Just the accelerationist in me wants to see America decline as quickly as possible. Just like,
I can absolutely see that because in one way it's like if Kamala had won, she has so much more decorum and like background support, and it would have been even more hypocritical and duplicitous. And with Trump, it's like he's a moron, so his cabinet is going to be filled with fascistic morons, and that might overall be like worse to further American imperialist goals globally, potentially speaking. And it might be better for the world overall in that way, in that accelerationist sort of way. Not really to put accelerationism on a platform in its own ideology or anything, but it's. As a Marxist, you see the writing on the wall.
I mean, it's nice that liberals will care now. Like, because it will be Trump doing it, all the things will be bad, just like they would have been under Kamala, except that liberals would have been dunking on us the whole time as the genocide was going on. And unfortunately, it looks like they still may. They still may just now I may be wrong about all of this. Like to take, since everyone is predicting worse and more cynical things than what I was predicting, I'm going to one up myself and say that the liberals are going to continue not caring about the genocide, and they're actually going to now dunk on us and say, "Look, Trump's making it even worse. This is what you did, you fucking lefties." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah, I'm already seeing stuff like that. Not to mention the people that are like, oh, Trump won. Well, I can't wait for Gaza to get turned into a parking lot, just like you said. They had no solidarity to begin with. It was all completely just liberals using their like sort of rhetoric around like democracy, humanity. Things that we should care about, but it's like they would then go around and say like, oh, but our only option is Kamala. Our only option is to vote for the genocider that's currently funding this whole thing, and it's just silly.
When people were pointing out before the election, they were like, okay, if you vote for this party or that party, you're giving your vote to Trump. Like, if you vote for any third party, you're giving a vote to Trump, and how Trump will make the genocide worse. And I'd always just be like, talking to these people, and be like, how do you make a genocide worse?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're already at genocide, which is the worst thing possible. Like, how do you make it worse? And they would say things like, oh, they'll start putting people in camps and stuff like that. And it's like, they're doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing that in northern Gaza right now. They're putting people in fucking camps. They're going to settle northern Gaza and put the, Gaza itself, the Gaza Strip is already a camp for starters.
Yeah.
But they're literally going to put people, and they're starting to now, they're putting people in concentration camps in northern Gaza. Biden's the president. He's still the president. Biden is still the fucking president. Yeah.
I was just reading today, according to Al Jazeera, November 12th, Israeli Minister Bezalel Smotrich called for Israel to officially annex the entire West Bank. He ordered the preparations to begin to take the land in 2025. So they're full on doing this Zionist Lebensraum sort of situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the idea that liberals have, I think that they're owning us or proving us wrong when we said that they were being fascist by supporting a genocider, and now they're going to turn more fascist because they hate us that much, and they're like, yeah, see what you lefties made us do? It's like, you're doing the fucking thing. You are doing the thing that you expected us to do, and you somehow think that proves us wrong. Like, we always knew you were going to do this, you fucking pieces of shit. Like, you're shit libs. Like, we always knew you were going to side with the fascists and turn right at every opportunity because that's all you could ever do due to your class position. And literally the mental capacity. Like, the people who are like neoliberals or shit libs now, who are unironic Democrats, they don't have the mental capacity for like critical thinking, to see through media narratives, to understand class, to understand historical materialism, any of the things that interest us. They have the intellect to get a job that like pays them well enough that they can ignore all that shit, and then they can lord that money over everyone else and see, well, the system's rewarding me. I don't know what you guys are so mad about. It seems like it's a you problem, right? And that's the entire neoliberal class that then lords that privilege over everyone and thinks that it like makes them better than everyone. And these are the kind of people who, again, like, will live their whole lives in the imperial core doing stupid shit like donating a couple cents here and there to some kind of charity, living on the back of people in the global south, and then die on their deathbed thinking they were a good person because they're going to ask like some fictional deity for forgiveness for rules that they made up. It's like, I hate all these people. Like, they're just getting worse and worse by the day. And it's like, I didn't change. Like, I feel like the Marxists and the people who are criticizing the US and like doing the America bad thing are the only normal people anymore. And it sucks to be in that bubble, but it's like, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I
fully agree.
They're comfortable because they're so comfortable. Politics and the consequences of politics don't affect them. So it's just team sports. It's like if the Newcastle Knights win the grand final rugby league in Australia, that's the same as if the Democrats win to them. Like, it doesn't affect my life in any way if the Knights win, other than I will rub it in the Sydney cunts' faces. But besides that, besides that, it doesn't affect my life at all. It doesn't. But that's what politics is like. If you're comfortable, you're a comfortable liberal. It doesn't affect you at all if Trump or Kamala or whoever's in the presidency. It just doesn't. I'm pretty sure your state governments are more important anyway, generally. That affects people's lives more. You live in a blue state, you're probably fine for ages.
I have free healthcare. I live in New York State, and I moved here from Pennsylvania a couple years ago. It's like, I didn't realize that was the case, but like, it's like a trade-off. Like, yeah, I mean, that is just the whole point of like the tirade that I'm on lately, is that we already are in the new fascism, and it already started incorporating different colors of people, different identities into it, and it's more based on class and income level than anything. And unfortunately, those do still fall along the class and race. I mean, the gender, race, and identity lines, of course, because class is about that. And so more people of the marginalized identities are going to be affected in the new class fascism that is IDPOL friendly, but it will incorporate, like, it will never be white people being put into camps again. It's never going to look like the previous fascism, because we learned that lesson. We didn't learn the lesson of this one. That's for the next generation to learn the lesson of American and Israeli fascism after it has collapsed under the weight of multipolarity. Like,
They're also not going
Yeah.
to put. They're not going to put like. I hear a lot of people talk about like Western people who are like leftists being like, "Oh, I'm going to get put in a camp as well." It's like, no, you're probably just going to abandon your beliefs completely and just live comfortably under fascism.
you're gonna get a
and
better
I'm-
job, or you're gonna like die
Yeah.
of like some kind of weird thing that is a result of poverty, like some kind of like disease you can't afford to get care for, some kind of like microplastic related cancer, something that you did not see coming, that is not directly it's not going to be like the SS people. It'll be like, I don't know, it could even be like the cops. Like, you could be homeless and then the cops put you down because you were an inconvenient homeless person in the wrong spot. Like, they do that shit.
Yeah, I mean, in Florida, where I live, they just recently made it like basically criminal. They criminalized sleeping out in public. Like, you know, downtown where I live, there are homeless people everywhere. You know, it's like such a big disparity in income and like social conditions, and they're at the point now where they're just like they're busing homeless people out of the city, or they're directly arresting them and inputting them into the prison system, you know, and then they get turned into slave labor. So, and it's not too far off from like what the Germans were doing when they were invading Poland and, you know, turning Jews into, like busing them into giant ghettos, you know, and then also putting them into concentration camps and work camps and labor camps and death camps.
I have no proof of this, but other than like memes that I've seen online on Instagram, and people have like put forward their theory. They're like, in certain cities there were large amounts of homeless people, and then even residents in those cities have like made mention of the fact that there don't seem to be any anymore. Like, they've sort of disappeared, and people have been saying like, well, what do you think they did with them? They didn't like give them help. They either shipped them out somewhere or they just killed them. And
Or
like,
they just killed them. Yeah.
yeah, and we have no idea. Like, there's no way to, because these are unpeople to begin with. These are people who have fallen through the cracks, and no one's keeping track of them to begin with. Obviously, that's why they're there. So it's like, also, anyone who has talked to police will tell you that police just find dead homeless people. Like, there are tons of serial killers out there who are going after the most marginalized people and getting away with it because it's barely even salacious anymore. If it is, it's for true crime podcasts of the real variety, not the kind of thing that we're doing, not like the
Yeah.
historical true crime podcast, but like
The true crimes they don't want you to know about.
Capitalism can never stay home. It goes abroad. The ordinary people simply paid the cost of empire.